But I mean, I would like to go to your thought beforehand, because I am on the riskier play, and I would say there is an ERC20 token, a new one, which might be the best play over the fork.
Okay.
Because what will the AMM bot do in like a tiny pool? Okay, it reallocates that, but what if the community just steps up pretty quickly and then creates this ERC20 pool together with a Pulse pool on their own, because they can do it. It's just a forked front end, so I can just click and add liquidity. And then from the let's say first few minutes on, they would bound their coin's liquidity with the potential best performing asset of the Pulse chain, which is the Pulse coin, in the first few days.
Well, so, if you're not the one supplying the liquidity, who is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot give you expectations of profits only from the work of others.
Yeah, but if your coin, if your goal is to just use Hart's law, I guess, or if your goal is to actually trade your coins into the other pair, somebody has to provide the liquidity, right?
Yeah, I know. And so, yes, I mean, yeah, I know there's somebody.
Call it the community. The community. We'll ask everybody who's watching. Would you kind folks please add liquidity to,
so I can sell? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Patrick's
favorite
coin?
Because for example, just favorite coin when it comes to I don't have Pulse X and I don't have Pulse. I want to have those, and how can I get that over the fork? And
can I think that can I guess what it is?
Yes, of course you can guess what it is. I guess you guess right.
Is it Maxi?
No, it's not Maxi, because Maxi is like nearly 1-to-1 with its liquidity to the hex pair. It's actually Pulse Doge.
Oh, okay. PLSD. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pulse Doge or Pulse Doge coin?
Yeah, Pulse Doge coin, pulsedoge.com.
The good one.
So what happens if the V3 AMM pair is swapped over to PulseX? Then what are you going
to do? This pair only has a current liquidity of $170,000, which like 2/3 of it in hex. And if you then just push over it, okay, then you still have the correlation to hex. But let's say that this liquidity gets pulled, that it's not like bounded to hex on the Pulse chain side, that it's only bounded to Pulse on the Pulse chain side, the Pulse Doge coin.
That's a huge insight. I like that a lot. I think I see what you're saying.
Maybe, like we talked about that on our last stream, like Patrick, maybe you can explain what is the reason why people could play this game. The reason behind that is because after the fork, you want to have more pulse, right?
Yeah. And that this little coin can hold its value better, especially if some liquidity providers get out of the hex PLSD position before the fork, and then you just create the PLSD position after the fork. And if you're a big holder of PLSD, you don't care if you get like a little more coins, by providing this amount of liquidity, especially if you already sacrificed for Pulse Chain, for example, and then you already created the first pair, what you can start yield farming on and start farming the incentive token.
Well, shout out to the #1 Pulse Doge wallet ending 306E. If you're listening, please make that pull. There's a guy out there. He's got almost 300,000 of them.
Yeah, that's the top holder.
Yep.
And I mean, what I like about this new coin is that it's done, and the bell curve distribution, and it holds a lot of turtles, it holds a lot of squids and crabs and so on. So I guess especially some of those people do miss the Pulse chain sacrifice phase or both sacrifice phases, and they can just think about like claiming that thing for free right now, and then they will see like how much Pulse or Pulse X they will get after the fork, and if it's the better play or not, nobody knows. But I just know that the hex price will have huge volatility going on.
I think that you might find that there's more volatility with Pulse Doge because there'll be substantially less amount in liquidity anyways, right? Would you agree?
I mean, I would agree, and I only advised this strategy to portfolios below $10,000 because of the liquidity issue. Yeah, because if you have like a pretty big portfolio, then you need to go through big liquidity pools. Otherwise, you have way too much slippage.
It's more of a small side bet to have some more extra pulse and pulse X when you get on the other
Yeah,
side.
I mean, it's more like a risky play for the smaller wallet, But especially, the smaller wallet needs maybe the riskier play because the smaller wallet needs more X to go up, and the smaller wallet maybe needs to have the copy already in something which is worth more, that they don't go with stable coins right now and can only bridge this 1X to the Pulse chain.
Wow, that's a good argument. I would agree with that. If you've got $1,000 in US dollar coin right now, you probably are better off trying to take something like Pulse Dogecoin over the fork.
Because
versus
if
the
Hex,
staple.
for example, if Hex rises until the fork, Pulse Dogecoin will do the same because their liquidity is still bounded to each other. So they go up together. So if Hex rises to the fork, you will get the kind of the same rise up. Of course, if then people like from the Pulse Doge community, free claimers and so on, sell their PLSD for Hex before the fork, of course you get like a shift then, yeah. But assuming that's not a huge shift or not going to happen that much, then both prices go up together. And then, as you said, like with the wallet address, if you hear us, you just need to pull your Hex PLSD liquidity before the fork and inject the PLSD liquidity after the fork. And then it's also pretty good if you only remain like with I don't know, $50,000 to $100,000 liquidity on the Ethereum side. You can even make it like to a 200,000 liquidity position if you set your range pretty tight on V3, because you still have V3 on the east side, and on the Pulse chain side you have V2, and there you just go 50-50 PLSD PLS.
Bold move, Cotton. Yeah, bold move. I'm curious to see if it'll play off. That's cool.
We will try our best, I guess.
The idea of going out from other coins and then bringing them in, and buying what have you, if you wanted to, Pulse X, Hex, or whatever. If you're taking those coins that will probably be worthless for a while until their community comes in, taking that economic mass and pushing it into the RH ecosystem after the fork would probably be a good idea. Because there will be ratios between those pairs with, Pulse, Hex, what have you. So, essentially you're just pulling economic energy out of other projects and putting it into the RH ecosystem coins. So you could also do something like that. And that would help everybody. So something to consider.